Good evening, everybody. It's a late night podcast, and after dark, me reading stuff. My name's Robin O'Neill. I've been dying to talk to you again. It's been a little while. I'm not going to apologize because I'm just sitting here living my life just like you are. I don't want you to apologize for anything. I want you to just be. Just be you. Be nothing else. I couldn't think of anything else to say. Be you. Be you. Be. You know what? I don't think the brain's functioning that well tonight, everybody. What a perfect time to record a podcast. Am I right? How are you guys doing? Should we start with a question corner? I am a little brain fried or brain dead. I'm not sure which one. Brain fogged. They're all in the same category in my head right now. Man, I cannot speak. I really can't speak. I'll be honest. I think this is why I haven't recorded in a little while, because I am having trouble articulating myself. I don't know if I'm definitely exhausted, and I haven't felt tired like this in a long time, so kind of makes me sad. When I was on my trip, my whales and waterfalls trip, I was very alert, and I pushed myself really hard to get up at a really nice early hour and start my travels, start my day, because I didn't want to waste my time. You never want to waste your time when you're on a trip. You're trying to fit it all in, right? And I think I pushed myself maybe a little bit too hard, because then when I came home, I've just been in a fog ever since, barely able to function. And the sad part about that was that I launched my website, then I took this trip, and right when I came back, I needed to start getting work on shipping out orders from my shop and all this stuff, and I have barely been able to do it until today. Today I got a lot of things done. I think I turned some sort of corner today, and that was after last night I went to sleep at 9 p.m. And right now, by the way, it's 9:18 p.m. So I'm already really screwing up this regular sleep schedule business that I am supposed to have. That was a deal I had with my therapist. I'm supposed to have a regular sleep schedule, and yet I don't. How about when they call it sleep hygiene? How do you guys feel about the term sleep hygiene? To me, that really makes me feel gross. Because I remember her always saying, well, have you been working on your sleep hygiene? And I'm just like, God, it makes me sound like I don't take showers or something. But apparently people take it that seriously. And, last night when I went to sleep that early and I woke up kind of not late, but not early, like 9 a.m. That's kind of late for some people. But anyway, so I think I did. I got 12 hours of sleep, and it did make me feel better. What if that's how many hours of sleep I need right now? I am a woman of a certain age. Let's do this. Let's sleep 12 hours a night. Why not? Anyway, all right, let me think about this. I want to give you guys a question corner. Does that sound good to you? All right, I'm going to be right back with question corner. All right, it's cold here, by the way. Here in Washington State, where I live, in between Seattle and Vancouver, British Columbia, it is it's cold. I think is 52 cold? I think it's 52 right now. It feels more like it's 35, and it's kind of fun. And it looks like winter. I looked, and it was so weird because yesterday or the day before it was really warm, and then all of a sudden we're just in winter or fall zone. Sorry if that's bragging, because I know it's probably, is it warm where you are? What's the temperature? That's not a part of Question Corner. That's just another question I have for you. And what's your ideal temp? My ideal temp is 59 degrees. That's my favorite temperature. And no, I would not even wear a coat or a jacket with that temperature. I would just want to be in a normal shirt, walking around feeling a slight chill on my skin. All right, let's do question corner, everybody. And I hate being hot. Just a reminder, I do not like being hot. And I run hot. I just am hot. Damien says that I'm hot. No, he does say that, but that's not what I mean. I'm like a walking heating pad, which is, that makes sense why I want to be cooler. It's just I'm always really, really hot. Okay, question corner for June 5th, Friday night at 9:20. It's now 9:26 p.m. All right, how do you take your coffee or tea, whatever it is you drink? How do you take your warm drinks? Some people don't. Have I told you guys that Damien doesn't even drink hot drinks? He does not drink coffee. He does not drink tea. I think I've seen him do it one time, and it was just a mint tea or something like that. He likes licorice tea every once in a while, very rarely. Me, right now I'm starting to realize once it was warming up and it was feeling like spring, summer, I got so excited because it meant it was iced coffee time again. And then once I started making myself iced coffee instead of hot coffee in the morning, and of course maybe if you've listened to this, I drink Americanos, I drink decaf Americanos, and that's pretty much, and I take them either black or with a tiny, tiny bit of half and half or milk, cream, whatever it is. I'm not that picky about it, whatever we have. And I just love an Americano because I have to do decaf because of my heart. And with an Americano, you make it with espresso so you can make it extra strong, even though it's not strength-wise, not caffeine strength, but just, it's a cup of coffee that tastes like a cup of coffee as opposed to most decafs, which just taste like maybe like you had half of maybe a tea bag after 8 different soaks in water or something. That's how most decaf coffees taste, like really watered down coffee tea or something. It's so horrible. But if you deal with espresso decaf instead, you're going to get something more exciting. So anyway, I really do. That's that's the only way I really do coffee. I don't do much else. Every blue moon, I will order something else, like a decaf cappuccino or something. But it's so rare. And I always regret it. Every single time I regret it. And if I drink tea, I love black tea. But again, decaf black tea really kind of sucks. I want to love tea more, and I get into phases where I get obsessed with tea, and then I realize I don't like tea, and it just tastes like watered down. It just tastes too, I don't know. I get kind of mad about it, and then I get embarrassed that I don't like it, and I feel like I should like it. How do you guys feel about it? Let me hear your reactions. Hit me up on Instagram. I love it when you guys answer these in the comments on my Instagram, even when it makes no sense with the post I just posted. It's so fun for me. I've told you guys this a million times, and I'm going to keep saying it in case there's somebody new. Okay, second question of the night. That was a long one. Geez, what was that, 4 minutes of me talking about coffee and tea? Okay, I wanted to ask you guys something about your dreams. I'm not even sure what I'm asking, but your dreams at night, do you have like a reoccurring, is it recurring or reoccurring? All of a sudden, I don't know. Let's look it up. Recurring. It must be reoccurring. Recur, happen again. Reoccur. Recur, recurring. Is there no reoccur? Reoccur. Occur again or repeatedly. And then recur is occur again, periodically or repeatedly. So you can say both? Is that true? Who out there is a grammar expert who can tell me? Because this has been driving me crazy my whole life, to be honest with you. And I don't know why I'm just now looking it up live on the podcast. Because I hope to show you guys that it's okay to not know things. It's okay to not be perfect. It's okay, honestly, to have moments where you just feel like an idiot in front of other people. It's totally okay. We all have it, and it's a part of human existence, and it's kind of fun. And it makes others feel better because they're like, oh, I'm not the only idiot around here. That's cool. So anyway, what kind of recurring or reoccurring dreams do you have? I think I've told you guys this a long time ago, but I dream about not getting into my locker in junior high all the time. I continually dream about this, and it drives me crazy. And while I'm dreaming, though, I sometimes remember that locker number, and I know it's accurate, but then I can't remember it like today, right now. I can't tell you what it is, but in my dream, I'm like, oh my God. It's almost like I'm doing commentary on the dream in my head too, and I'm like, I cannot believe my brain still knows that locker number. But for the most part, I don't know it. And sometimes it's even like, I know it, but me and the dream doesn't know it, and I'm trying to tell that little girl what it is, but I can't get through to her. It's so weird. But anyway, constant dreams like that, constant dreams that I'm not prepared for a quiz or a test in school, usually junior high or early high school. Just completely, I mean, these are lame dreams. I also have this dream of a mall parking lot all the time. This one mall parking lot that doesn't exist in real life, but in my dream, I know exactly what this mall is. I know where to go. And I'm just kind of hanging out in this mall parking lot. Anyway, your dreams. Overall, would you say you have fun dreams, or are they weird? Are they scary? I want to hear more. I remember someone telling me once they always dream about eating pizza. And I'm like, well, anything else going on? Nope, I'm just eating a piece of pizza alone. And I thought that was kind of cool. That's a cool dream, and especially that you continually have that, whoever you are. I don't remember who told me that, but I liked it. All right, speaking of dreams and sleep, pillows. Talk to me about your pillows. Where does one buy pillows now that Bed Bath & Beyond doesn't exist? Where do you test out pillows? Do you have to just buy pillows and hope you like them? I'm very upset about this whole Bed Bath & Beyond thing being gone, because I really took that seriously. When I would get a new pillow, I would be, schedule it in. Go to Bed Bath & Beyond. Figure out what pillow we're going to get next. Are we going to try a new one or go with the same old thing? Anyway, and how many do you sleep with? Is it pretty well known that nobody should sleep with more than one pillow? Because I think a lot of people do, but that's horrible for your neck. And now that I've been in physical therapy for my neck and my back, I mean, I think by all accounts, experts say do not sleep with two pillows, but maybe your head is shaped differently and you need it. So what's your favorite pillow? Tell me all about that. I sleep with one. I would prefer I almost don't want to sleep with them. A lot of times when I wake up in the middle of the night, I'll scoot it out of my head. Like I'll push it back and I'll just put my head on the bed, and I'm always happier. So I don't know why I don't just do that, just sleep without a pillow. I remember my favorite yoga instructor, Vishnu Prem, he used to tell me that nobody should sleep with a pillow at all. But then he also slept on the floor. He doesn't even sleep in a bed. So I don't know if I'm going with Vishnu Prem's ideas. Let's see. What else about pillows? I think I've told you guys this before too, but I love sleeping with a pillow on top of my head. So if I did choose to put my head just on the bed without a pillow, I will often prop a pillow on top of my head. I like that to block any light, and it's just comforting. And I used to sit all the time with couch pillows, like decorative pillows, on my head while I watched TV. I don't do that as much anymore, and I don't know why, but I did that when I was a kid. I've done that while I'm an adult. So tell me anything you'd like to tell me about sleeping, dreaming, pillows. Question Corner is lasting a long time. Let me think. I'm going to give you a few more, though. What's the last book you started but didn't finish? And I'm assuming we're all cool with not finishing books. We're all kind of aware that life is short and, we're only getting older and we shouldn't waste our time doing shit we don't want to do, right? Is that pretty much true? Okay, the last book that I started and didn't finish was not that long ago. My friend Erin and I were going to read this book together called, oh my God, women health book. What is it called? I think I told you guys. Unwell Women. Unwell Women. Now, this is by Eleanor Cleghorn. It's called Unwell Women, Misdiagnosis and Myth in a Man-Made World. It's a horrific book and really good book, but I couldn't take it. I was getting so angry reading it. It's basically about the history of how nobody pays attention to women when they're trying to explain what's wrong with their bodies, like physical self, like, the amount of misdiagnoses, whatever. You know what I'm saying. I just read it to you. I just read you guys the subtitle, but and people just not believing when women say they're not feeling well, and how many women have just completely died or been tortured throughout the years. I mean, it was from medieval times until now. So it was very upsetting. I got 3/4 of the way done with it, and I just couldn't do it anymore because I was getting so angry. And it was very, I am going to say it, and maybe I'm overusing the word, but I felt very triggered by it. Because I've had a rough health life, and I've had a lot of shitty things happen to me with doctors. So much so that I can't even talk about it half the time. It's just so upsetting to me. So anyway, but it's a great book. So isn't that interesting? You can, your reason for stopping your book is interesting to hear about too. So what's the last book you started but didn't finish, and why did you stop? That's my other question. And I highly recommend anybody who is interested that Unwell Women is a wonderful book. So highly recommend it. And I will finish it when I feel stronger. The one thing I can't read about very often are books about health issues. I get very upset, and I am a recovering hypochondriac too. And so for me, it's a little dicey because I can tend to think I have everything I'm reading about. Whatever it is that I'm reading about, I start being like, well, I feel that too. And it sounds legitimate in my own brain. So got to stay away from that. When was the last time you cried? When was the last time you cried? I am on SSRIs, a pretty high dose. And it's so weird because I am naturally a major crier. Like, I cry naturally without any meds. I cry all the time. And both happy and sad tears. And, I am currently on some medication, and I notice that it's kind of sucks because you do feel a little bit like a psycho. I know when I would be crying, but I'm not crying. And that's bothersome. And I honestly, I know I've cried within the last month, but I don't remember what it was about. Otherwise, I would share it with you, girl. Okay, otherwise, if I think about it while I'm, talking to you throughout this podcast, I'll let you guys know. But, and you can tell me what you cried about, or if it was happy or sad, or just leave it as is. I cried 5 minutes ago, or I cried a week ago. I wish I cried more. I guess this is all a question because I am sad that I'm it makes me want to cry, that I'm not crying as much. But I'd much rather feel the way I do on this medication than I do without this medication, because just trust me, this is better. This is way better. And last but not least, everybody's favorite question, how's your sex life? Not exactly the tone of this podcast normally, but I still love asking it. And I love it when you guys tell me your answers. Not everybody answers, and I understand that, and it's none of my business. But sometimes people like that question and they like answering it, and I love hearing about it. So go ahead and let me know how you're doing sex life-wise. Me, personally, I'll go ahead and be honest. Excellent. Did I have you scared for a second there? A little bit scared when I did that pause? No. Best time of my life. Best time of my life, everybody. Okay. Moving on, it's time for me to go grab what we're going to read today, and I will be right back. Thank you for answering the questions on Instagram, Robin, ROBYN _O'Neil, ONEIL. I'll see you on Instagram. I love you. I'll be right back. By the way, have I even talked to you guys about... Have I talked to you guys since my website launched? Yes or no? I cannot remember for the life of me. But and I don't remember if I've talked to you since coming back from my trip when I went and saw whales and waterfalls. So I should have looked into that prior to recording tonight, but I need to touch base with you guys about everything. And if you've checked out my new website, thank you. And if you've bought something from the shop, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's robinoneil.com, and the shop is /shop. You'll see it. Just go to robinoneil.com and hit the shop. But more than anything, I want you guys to just check out my work on it, because I worked so hard on this. In fact, I'm going to read you guys. I had a great question from somebody on Substack, and I responded to them. Let me see. All right. Okay, I found it. So Joseph Hume from Hume Studios, that's WHOM, asked me in response to my post about my new website. Having just, quote, finished, is this ever the case, the latest version of my own website, I am interested in how you came to categorize your work. Specifically, what makes something work but not a project? And is early work just work that is not current work? In a sense, it is past work. Or is there a missing gap of past work that is not far enough ago to be early? Always curious about the taxonomy artists choose. I think your site works well and may even choose to link to my Substack the way you did. And I said, let me make sure this is still recording. Yes, okay, let me go back here. I was so happy to get this question, by the way. I'm talking to you guys now. I was just like, okay, whoever Joseph is, I love him or them. And I also am just so appreciative of anybody who takes a look at my website and who has some questions like this. And even if there was like a little bit of criticism, I'd just be so psyched to know that somebody gave it any thought at all. And I didn't used to always be that way, you guys. I don't know how to describe it. I think I was so in my own head and so busy all the time that I didn't spend enough time just appreciating that anybody gave one single shit about anything I said, did, or made, And now that's all I'm consumed with is like if one person looks at anything for even 30 seconds, I'm just completely honored, and I really mean that. So you can imagine how I feel. Every comment matters to me. Everything. It just does. So anyway, I said to Joseph, thank you for asking and for taking the time to even look at my new site. I'll be honest, I mulled over this for well over a year. I had drafted about 5 very different websites before I landed on this one. And organizing my work was definitely the most difficult decision. There are many holes in the way I ended up organizing my work. In fact, there isn't even a clear cutoff date for what I considered early as opposed to current. And some projects could and probably should simply be in the work section. In the end, I decided that I always had an instinct for where I wanted everything to be as opposed to where it should be. I decided I was a very specialized curator of my work for this site, which might seem like an obvious strategy, but it wasn't for me until the very end. And as my own curator, what is the absolute best way for other people to hopefully fully understand what I've been trying to do for the past 30 years? And only I could have made that decision. Nobody else would have done it this way, and that's pretty much how I knew it finally worked. And I said, does that make any sense? I'd love to talk about this more, actually, so feel free to keep doing a back and forth about this. Also, I'd love to see your site sometime. Send it to me when and if you are comfortable. That was a couple days ago. I haven't heard back from Joseph yet, but hopefully I will. Or if any of you guys have any questions for that, because it really was true. Once I thought about this, I went, well, that's a great question. And I'm so glad to have somebody asking me so I can remember that in the end, I really did. I was like, I'm not even going to look at years. I just know what feels early and what feels more current. And then you guys can see when you go through my website. But I divided the current work up into 5 different sections. And those are, again, it was just, I just thought of how I would want others to see my work. Like, this is how I would want them to see it organized. And I am the artist, so I get to decide that. And that felt really good. I got rid of all the shoulds, well, this should be here, or I should have a cutoff date, or whatever. It's like, no. I don't need any permission. I don't need any rule book. I do not care. I'm going to do it exactly how my instinct tells me. So that's how I did it. And thank you guys. And by the way, feel free to follow me on Substack. It's just Robin O'Neill on Substack. I'll put a link to that, to Instagram, to all the good stuff in the description of the podcast. And now let's move on to our reading for the day, which is The Book of Symbols, Reflections on Archetypal Images. It's a big-ass book by Taschen. And how many pages? We've got almost 800 pages here, everybody. Oh, over 800 pages, actually. This book was published in 2010. I believe it's been reprinted since then. It's beautiful. It kind of looks like a Bible. It has the thumb marks for you to go to the different sections. The different sections in this book. By the way, I see artists, almost all of us seem to have this book in our libraries. I always see them in the background in artist studio shots. Give me 1 second here. So the different sections are creation and cosmos, plant world, animal world, human world, and spirit world. And there's always at least 1 or 2 images of something. Like I just opened up to Whirlpool, and it's showing some prints of from the 1800s of Whirlpool. There's a lake, there's grapes. Okay, let me just I'm going to just flip through and tell you guys things. Okay, we've got breath, valley, flower, frog, birds, hen, rooster, ear. The ear one I have bookmarked, and look at this a million times over. Okay, what? Fundamentals of work and society, weavings, spinning, the wheel, the ladder, vampire, dakini. I don't even know what dakini is, but dakini, here. This little figure is stripped of all but her most essential characteristics. Naked but for her ornaments, she stands in dancing pose, her right foot grounded, her left leg raised over her left arm to expose her vagina, the source of her creativity and power. I don't know if my vagina is my source of creativity and power. I don't think so. Her vagina, in Buddhist tantric tradition, is the gateway to the womb, symbolic of the spacious emptiness that is the source and end point of myriad human forms. All right, there you go. So that's the dakini. That's from the mythical beings section. The color gray. Here's a little entry. I guess we're doing this. We're already kind of reading here. Gray is a mixture of black and white, but also, as anyone with a watercolor paint box knows, it results from mixing any of the color opposites: green and red, yellow and violet, blue and orange. Because of this, it has a peculiar position in the center of the color wheel. Despite the attraction of the vivid primary colors, gray is essential. That fundamental gray, which distinguishes the masters and is the soul of all color, wrote the painter Redon. Gray is present to some degree in almost all colors, and this common note ties together in harmony the various hues in a painting. Human newborns do not, as we once thought, see only gray. I never knew people ever thought that. Though they are not able to focus as well as adults, so that objects are fuzzy, their eyes possess color vision. As we develop, gray, neither bright nor bold, takes on particular meanings, probably by association with graying hair. Gray stands for old age and all that is associated with it. Retrospection, inaction, narrowing of libido, but also wisdom and serenity. In Christian symbolism, it is the color of mourning, of the ascetic time of Lent, of humility, and of resurrection of the dead. Medieval paintings show Christ in a gray cloak at the Last Judgment. Gray evokes saturnine lead and the moods that leadenness conveys: sadness, inertia, melancholy, indifference, or boredom. Gray is linked with the sackcloth and ashes of penitence, and with the symbolism of ashes in general. Despite the association of ashes with defeat and failure, however, in alchemy, ashes symbolize the immortal part of the personality that has survived the confrontation with primitive desires and emerged purified. Gray is neutral, an in-between place. Opposites balance there or are yet undifferentiated. Mythically, dead persons and spirits moving between the realms are gray. A gray area is not certain one way or the other. There is indefiniteness about gray, embodied especially in gray clouds and fog, which adds to its ambiguity and its place as a mediator. The varying usages of gray as symbol suggest that it has differing meanings depending on one's temperament. To the outward-directed personality, which seeks excitement and stimulation, gray stands for all that is burdensome and limiting. In an 1899 speech, Theodore Roosevelt proclaimed, "Far better it is to dare mighty things, to win glorious triumphs, even though checkered by failure, than to take rank with those poor spirits who neither enjoy much nor suffer much, because they live in the gray twilight that knows not victory nor defeat." By contrast, the American poet Paul Engle, writing of his experience as a student at England's Oxford University, remembered that the tense American nerve relaxed. I lived with a gray quietness that let the mind grow inward like a root. How beautiful is that? And to the right, we have here Bryce Martin's quiet gray painting, and it is, they say, it is rich with colors, the colors it has absorbed. It is the painting's very reticence which compels our involvement, and it is called Wax 1. It's oil and wax on canvas, 1966. I once got to see Bryce Martin speak it was either at University of North Texas in Denton or at the Dallas Museum. I think it was the Dallas Museum of Art. And he was wonderful. He was actually very casual, very cool. And I remember being riveted. And I wasn't riveted by all that many artists when I would go to their lectures, to be honest with you. But he was great. He was great. And anyway, that's beside the point, because what we're really talking about is how awesome this book is. So you guys get the idea of this book. With every entry on every subject of symbol, there is imagery involved, sometimes just one big image, sometimes three, many times historical. So it is, you guys know I have a love for dictionaries, encyclopedias, that sort of thing. And this book is just a gold mine of inspiration. I will be honest, when I pulled it out to read to you guys today, I thought how funny it is, because I always thought it would be this book that I would pull for reference material for my work, for drawings, but it never has been that. It's more just entertainment, and it just gets my brain moving the way that an encyclopedia does, because I don't really grab the encyclopedia and then go make a drawing right afterwards. But something about just taking in information in this way always gets me excited. And you know what this book reminds me of is, I love they're kind of for children, I think, but those DK books. Do you know what I'm talking about? Let me look them up. DK books. They are, yeah, just dk.com. What is it? Oh, Dorling Kindersley. I think it's a British. It started as a British thing, right? But anyway, I love these books. And like there's books on dinosaurs, there's books on plant life, there's just, and the imagery in them. I mean, I think there's a lot of different books under this publishing company, but it's more like the children's books, the nonfiction children's books that I'm super obsessed with. Books on rocks, books on history, books on the Civil War, books on the presidents, that kind of thing. And so anyway, this is like an adult version of that. And I love it, and I highly recommend it. It's a beautiful book, and I could just go through it forever. I'm never bored by this book, and it's always sort of in view in our house, always on the edge of a pile or on the top of a pile, So anyway, I hope you guys like that. I think I need to read you guys a poem next week. It's been a while. Has it been a while since I read you guys a poem? It seems like it has been. Maybe it's just been a while since I've been here at all. I do often wonder how many of the listeners of me reading stuff are artists. How many of you guys are visual artists? And I don't know that answer, and I don't think there's any easy way for me to find out. But I'm going to assume you're all an artist unless some of you write to me at info@robinoneal.com and just write your profession in. I know that I have quite a few attorneys who listen. And I find that so exciting and interesting. I mean, to me, you guys are like the real deal. You're like real adult humans. Whereas us artists are just, maniacs. No offense to all of you, 90% of you listeners here. That's my assumption, is that 90% of you guys are all visual artists. But I will say I get more excited when I find out you guys do other things. Oh, and shout out to our, why can't I even think of the name of it's a certain kind of doctor, and this doctor lives in Canada, and they are an anesthesiologist. I don't know why the word couldn't come to me. My favorite doctor, anesthesiologist. Yes, that is so cool too. So I found out one of you is an anesthesiologist recently. And we've got some lawyers. I have a cardiologist listener, and I know there's got to be more of you out there, and I'm just not thinking of it right now, but I do tend to get really excited because I kind of feel like, ooh, I broke through something crazy. Like I broke through the artist thing, and somebody other than an artist is slightly interested in what I have to say. That's so exciting to me. Not that I'm not excited about you artists, because I am, and you guys know I love you guys. And, I am one of you. So we're in this together. But what a ridiculous field we're in. Truly, like here, our anesthesiologist friend up in Canada is truly keeping people alive while they're in surgeries. And I'm drawing an oversized cat on a mountain. Like, what the fuck is that about? Like, that's so stupid. And that's what really got to me in the hospital last year during my heart surgeries, especially the nurses. Like, they're cleaning up my throw up, like a lot, and on a lot of, and doing worse things than that, and doing it and making me feel loved while they're doing it. And my job is drawing a bunch of mountains. Like, I don't know, guys. It's upsetting. It's upsetting to me. But anyway, it is what it is. I mean, I'm not cut out to be a doctor or a nurse. And I wish I were. I really wish I were. But I'm not. And I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry that I just draw a bunch of Nike tennis shoes. I mean, what can I say? I'm an idiot. Okay, how many times have you guys heard my chair squeak tonight? Is it like a lot? Because do I need some WD-40 on this thing? This is a fairly new chair. This is making me paranoid. I realize I've gained a little weight, but have I really gained so much that I'm breaking my chair? Because I feel like I can barely sit on it anymore without it sounding like it's going to crash and burn, and it's making me real uncomfortable, and it keeps sounding gross while I'm trying to talk to you. This is very upsetting to me. All right, you guys, I'd like to tuck you in and say goodnight, say goodbye. You with your 2 pillows, hurting your neck, and you who agrees with my yoga instructor, Vishnu Prem. I can't even say his name anymore. That's how long it's been since I've practiced yoga. I'll tuck you all in on the ground, on the couch, on the cold ground of my bathroom, wherever it is. I like this. I like this idea in my head, is that I imagine all of you guys sleeping in various parts of our house. It would be an insane and probably uncomfortable slumber party. Anyway, 1 pillow, 2 pillow, no pillow, good night. That's my poem. 1 pillow, 2 pillow, no pillow, good night. Now, as I say goodbye and good night to all of you, I'd like you to remember some things I've told you throughout the years here on Me Reading Stuff. Number 1, you are perfect just as you are. You do not need to be more like anybody else, but you do need to be more like yourself. Do you understand? So, no more hiding, no more pretending, be true. Also, expectations are premeditated resentments. Okay, now stay on your side of the street and don't go to the hardware store for milk. Did you get all of that? I'd like to encourage you all to approach tomorrow with curiosity and gentleness and humor, if you can. If you can muster it, you should laugh at something tomorrow. Don't laugh at somebody, unless they're being funny. But you know what I'm saying? Life is so ridiculous. There's plenty to laugh at, trust me. And cry at something too. Feel free to cry. Give it a try. Give it a cry. Like I said, I can't promise tears myself. I feel them. They're deep in there. They're just not coming out. And I'm sorry for that. What else? Enjoy what you have right now and express love, express pain, share things with people. I think we should all ease up on our bitterness. Try to not be too critical of the people you love the most. That's something that I always work on. Learn, not that I'm an expert, but I certainly try. It's just so sad, isn't it? How we all say, oh, we're always most critical of the people we're around the most. Well, that's really fucked up. That's really sad. I mean, maybe it's human nature, but we shouldn't do it. Let's see. Learn some new words. Get the symbols book from Taschen. Learn some new symbols. Learn a new language. Sweep your floor. Go to bed early. Write a poem. Write me a poem. And just know that I'm happy you guys are alive while I'm alive here in 2026. I love you guys very much. This has been fun tonight. Thank you so much for listening. And I will talk to you guys next week. Bye-bye.